1 week past chemo. Let's talk about it. So I have some things written down because chemo brain is a very big thing. Also, too, hair is short. It's starting to come out, my pink hair dye. I really wasn't expecting to have my hair this long. Or like, okay, I wasn't really expecting to have my hair color this long because I thought I was going to be shaving it here soon. But I really haven't lost that much hair the first time. I've noticed when I brush it and stuff like that, it's just more so because I'm not washing it and it's just coming out. I already shed a lot as is, but now I'm like, is it coming out because of chemo? But it doesn't seem to be the case with that. So I'll be shaving my head the first week of August because the end of July is my second chemo. People have said that that's basically when you lose the majority of it. So she's coming off August 6th. We've decided is my head shaving party. So I'm just gonna be going through a couple of things that I kind of mentioned in some earlier clips that I filmed, and they're going to be going into this video, but I'm going to be going through them now. So kind of breaking them down because everything's kind of chopped up. I really didn't film much that I wanted to. I filmed a lot before and I filmed a lot after, but I didn't film a lot in between. I was really nervous during chemo, so obviously you could understand why. So I just wanted to kind of go through the nitty-gritty of chemo itself and talk about all the different things because I think I prepared a lot. I don't really know, I really wasn't expecting much going in, but watching these videos before chemo definitely helped. And there's not many girls, honestly, that talk about this stuff. I guess there's some, but it's like you have to dig to try to find them to figure out like what is going on. A lot of them is like hospitals and universities like talking about chemo, so it's like not like a personal experience, and they're also really outdated. So we're trying to curate it up here. Kind of everything I wish I knew going into my first chemo / my experience / everything. So I originally was going in Tuesday, the day before, so that was the 6th. That was my original date that I was supposed to start. So I started actually on a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday. Typically when you go in for chemo, you meet with your doctor beforehand, you kind of get your blood, you get your vitals, things like that. You talk with your oncologist or their nurse practitioner, kind of go over the game plan for the day, kind of for future things if anything's coming up. This is a little different in the sense that I just met with my oncology doctor beforehand, actually a couple days prior, so I really didn't have to see her again. She was still obviously in the area in case I needed anything. The nurses did call her a couple of times just to make sure everything was good. They were able to give me some stuff. Wednesday there in the infusion center, I had the coolest nurses and techs when on my first day. So they give you an orange card at Johns Hopkins. That's your gateway key into everything. It's kind of like a season's pass when you go to like an amusement park. That's the way I put it, just to lighten the mood. So it's kind of like you swipe it, you're allowed access in, they can track everything. You're not like signing in and they like doing all the stuff on like the computer. You just like swipe your card, they know why you're there, your name pops up, you're golden. So my mom and I went up to the room, or to the floor, to the infusion floor, walked in, sat down, and just like off of the bat we were greeted with this LT is her name, see if she wants to be one of these eventually, but she is the coolest tech ever. So she brought me inside and we told her kind of our situation. It's my first one, so she was just like the best coming in there. She really just like made everything lively. She introduced me to all the nurses and things like that. So my infusion center, there's different segments of like chairs and things like that where you can sit down, you kind of get to choose where you want to sit and where you want to relax for the next 6 hours. So I chose a little nook area with a little bench in the corner with a window, hello, that way I could see out and like see what was going on kind of down below. So from there, the tech then introduced me to my nurse who was going to be helping me throughout the next kind of hours and things like that. So after that, we got the infusion started. So I initially was not going to be doing any type of like PICC line or port or anything like that, because I just didn't want the extra scar. But then I met a friend, Marcy Salvatore, who is the best. She is also a blood cancer sister, I guess you could say. We've really become really good friends, and so I met up with her a couple of days prior, and she was like, Lexi, please, like, whatever you do something to intervene with the chemo, because like the way that the chemo sits into your body is unreal. I definitely took her advice, not the first time, but I will be getting a port here shortly, because it's just crazy. Like, and there's just so many things. I thought I was gonna be like really cool with it, but like, oh, like the fact that that thing sat in my arm for 6 hours is like, I went home and my arm was just so heavy, my vein hurt so bad, so I couldn't even imagine doing that for six different sticks. So I'm just caving, getting the port. It's easy to take care of. The PICC line freaks me out now thinking about it, because it's like something sticking out of your arm. Jacqueline, if you're watching this, I was gonna sign you up to be taking care of me for that, but I just can't even fathom the thing of something just sticking out of my arm, and I would have to get it cleaned every week and things like that. So port just seems more manageable for my lifestyle. I can swim, I can shower. I just really hope it's a good one to me. I've heard kind of crazy stories about port lines or ports and things like that, but obviously everyone's different. So we'll be getting a port here shortly. So back to my story, they kind of injected me, or they stuck the needle in. They kind of gave me the pre-meds. So my pre-meds were Benadryl and the Zofran, and I think something else, but I don't remember. The Benadryl, that is in itself is something that I don't even like taking Benadryl when I'm sick, but now that I'm getting Benadryl shoved into an IV is totally different. The first Benadryl was fine. I got Benadryl twice. I'll get to that at a later point. Zofran. The Zofran is an anti-nausea medicine that they give you through your IV, and that really helped a lot, I think. But I think it kind of also aided in the fact that I wasn't really hungry. I don't really know. I think that's something that's in my head, but also too the fact that I was sitting there for 6 hours and I don't really like eating in hospitals. Yeah, so they got me pre-medded up, and then they gave me the Rituxan, or whatever it's called, the first one, the antibody drug. That is literally the worst thing ever. So this is where my story kind of takes a dip, but then there is a climax to it, and it's not like a climax where it comes back down. It's like a good side. So the Rituxan, I might be butchering that. So that in itself is just a wild ride. So I first started, and we got comfortable, the window was good, we met some friends and things like that, so it just made me feel really good. So then they started my bag of drugs, the Rituxan, and that was just oof. So they put it in, or they hooked me up to the IV with it, and it's the slowest drip. I want you to imagine like a very, like if you ever gotten an IV before, you can see it coming down through the little tube thing. With this, it's like the drops are like, you think it takes forever, and like they finally hit, and you're just like, wow, like this is it. So and the nurse told me, she was like, do not watch it, because you will be here, like it will drive yourself insane, because it's just so slow. So that was going for probably maybe an hour. I was fine, and then all of a sudden and this is what the nurse did warn me beforehand. She was like, if you experience any type of symptoms, these are what it's gonna be. Some people have symptoms, some people don't, but then she told me that it's a 50-50 chance you rather have them, and you have, like, everyone has them, but the severity of it is different. So basically what the Rituxan is an antibody drug. So basically it's like antibodies go into your system, your body's never experienced these before, so it wants to fight them off, but it's actually supposed to be helping it. So the next one won't be as crazy, I guess, as the first one. Crazy is a bad word to use. It won't be as dramatic going into my body. So I started going in, an hour in, I started noticing some side effects. My side effects were, I had a very scratchy throat. I've never had any type of like allergic reaction or anything like that, but I can imagine that's what people may experience. And then my head really itched. Like it was like an itch, kind of like when you get your hair bleached. It's just really sensitive and it just kind of itches, so you can't really scratch it. So I told my nurse, and she was like, all right, well, we'll stop you and kind of give you some more Benadryl, wait for things to kind of subside. And this is where it just went south. So my mom, God bless her, she went to go get me some food, and she wanted to go get me some type of soup or something like that. So she left. They gave me the Benadryl. So before she left, I got the Benadryl in my IV. This is the second time I've had this at this point. So I was like, okay, the first one wasn't bad. I think I'm going to be fine. So I was like, can I run to the bathroom really quick? Because I was trying to just drink as much water as I could. And I did pee a lot while I was there because I was just trying to get myself circulated. So I go stand up. She gives me the Benadryl. I'm like, can I go to the bathroom? She's like, yeah, that's fine. So I start walking to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom, do my thing. I like go to turn the lights off, and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, because it's like everything just like fully hit me all at once. So as soon as I got my bearings, I was like, wow. So I went and sat down, and my mom was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I just feel like kind of lightheaded. So I told her, and then we told the nurse, and she's like, that's definitely really normal. You probably just like, you need to eat something, also too, like just drink a lot of water. So that feeling went away after a little while, but it was just like the worst feeling ever. And then so they started me back on the antibody, and then that's when I had the flu-like symptoms. So I was really cold, my body ached, and that stuck too. So they kind of lightened it up on it. They didn't stop it because at this point it was like 2 o'clock. So I was like, I'm gonna be here all day if this continues. So she lightened it to even a lighter drop, and then kind of once my body kind of got out of the woods with the flu-like symptoms, she sped it back up. So now it's probably like 3 o'clock. My mom's back at this point. She got me a soup. I didn't eat it. Mom, I'm sorry. I know that you went so far to get that, but I did not eat it because I just couldn't. Like, it's just such a mind thing when you're in there. Like, you're hungry, but you're not hungry. Like, I think I was just so caught up in it all that I just wasn't hungry. So, yes, I did not eat that, unfortunately, which I regret so much looking back now. And yeah, so finally the bag of drugs ended, or the antibiotic drugs ended, and at this point it's like 3 o'clock, I think maybe almost 4. After that, they gown up, put this yellow gown on. My nurse came out with my bag of chemo drugs, and we're like, all right, let's freaking go. So she put the first one on. So RCHOP is my regimen. Everyone's completely different, but this is just the regimen for me. So the first one was the Rituxan, and then these were the kind of other 3 chemo drugs that I'm on that make up RCHOP. So the first one was so the first one was the Red Devil. So this is the one that I've heard is like the craziest of them all. I really didn't experience any of the symptoms, knock on wood. I was just more shocked at the fact that she had to literally inject me with these 2 syringes, and they were just crazy. And that's where I could tell that I'm like, this port or PICC line needs to happen, because nothing hurt when I was in there, but just the fact that she's shooting this like thick consistency into my veins. And this is the one that does cause, I think they all cause your veins to be like sensitive and things like that, but this is one in particular. I was like, yeah, I think I need to think about something. So she started injecting me with it, and that was quickly done, and then followed by the 2 other ones. They were probably had to have been within an hour and a half. So at this point it's probably like 5 o'clock. It's going into 6. So those went by super quick. I'm like very much waiting for the day that I only have to go in there for a couple of hours, because this first time was just really gnarly. And yeah, so then those ended. My boyfriend, my mom, and my dad, they all kind of took shifts in different stages. So my mom came in first, and then my dad came in, and then Drew came in, and then they just kind of like alternated. And that was really nice to just kind of change faces and things like that, and just talk about new things, because it just gets really old after a while. I did kind of nap for a second around like 2 and 3 o'clock. I wasn't really tired. I was just like I wanted to be alert. Like, I just felt like if I tried to fall asleep that something would happen. I don't know why I did, because nothing did. But I just like, I don't know, I'm the type of person that I really don't like being on my sick bed. When I'm sick, like I'm sick, but I don't like staying in bed for days and on end. And then there I was like trying to just be alert and just be on my phone or whatever, but the nurses were like, every time I was like sitting up, they were like, are you okay, are you okay? Because I think I just had this look on my face of like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing here? But yeah, like I did nap for a little bit, and then I woke up and I was just so hot, I think too, because of the Robitussin, and it just was just a crazy feeling. So at this point it was time for me to go home. All my chemo drugs ended, and when the last chemo bag was done, I was like, let's go baby, because we were there for so long. It was probably like 6 o'clock at this point. They closed at 6:30. It was me and some other guy there, and I'm just like, hey dude, what are you in for, basically? But it was just so nice. I was so sweaty. My feet were swollen because I was just so, I think, like all the drugs, and I was sitting for so long. I was just like, my feet were so swollen and so sweaty, and I just was so ready to get out of there. So my mom came in and we packed my stuff up, and the nurse kind of went over this binder of different things with me. I have a binder that I'm going to be keeping for a while, obviously, with all of my different things in it, kind of upkeep, things like that. It's very helpful, especially for me. I'm a very by the book kind of person, so I definitely want to know what's going on and what to expect and things like that. So that was nice. And then they sent me on my way. They did give me some Tylenol kind of in between for the body aches and things like that, and that's where my doctor came in. I didn't see her. I think I was asleep during that, and she saw that I was asleep, so she didn't want to bother me. So they did give me Tylenol twice for kind of the body aches, and then I had like a weird fever. It wasn't like anything crazy, like scary, but it was just like definitely really high. My body was really high. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So other than that, we got my stuff up and we left, and that was really nice. So we got in the car and drove home. Since I decided not to do IVF, I decided to do the Lupron shots, which are basically, it just shuts things down, I guess, there. And the reason why I didn't do IVF is just because first off, I didn't want to put my body through something that is already so traumatic. Hello, chemo. And then now going through all this process of putting hormones in my body and things like that. For me, I just didn't think it made sense. I kind of wanted to just kind of get chemo started. Obviously, I want kids in the future. I would nothing more than to be a mom. But for right now, I just needed to decide that I don't have a month to put hormones in my body that I'm not even guaranteed to get eggs out of at the end of the day. So I did decide to do the Lupron shots, and they are, oh my gosh, they are just, ooh, crazy. So I got that before chemo started. So you have two options of where you can get that injection. You can rather get it in your arm, or you can get it in your booty. I decided for the south region, just because it's a bigger muscle. I'm very happy I did, because this needle is no joke. I'm talking about a needle that's probably that big, and it's thick, and I saw it. She had it on the bed before they shut the curtains and things like that. She had it on the bed before I sat down, and I looked at it, and I shouldn't have, and that's where I messed up, because I knew what was coming and I knew what to expect. So she gave me it, and wow, I'm very happy it's over with, but my butt was definitely sore for a couple of days, and it still kind of is. So, but yeah, since I decided not to do IVF, the Lupron shots were kind of the avenue I went down, and they can kind of give you the side effects of delaying your period, or you don't get a period at all. You also get hot flashes. So I had one of those the other day. That was fun, and really sweaty. So just overall fun time. Yeah, now that I'm 1 week past, I'm just feeling really optimistic. I don't know. I've been having some highs and lows here and there, just like getting upset and not being upset. I'm just really grateful to be getting food down. Obviously nothing tastes the same. That's something I also have noticed more. I totally forgot to put on my list. I'm happy I'm talking about it now. Nothing tastes the same. I noticed that day 3, my grandfather had radiation done for some spots he had skin cancer for, and he always said it, that everything just tastes different. And he was so right, because now I finally understand what he was talking about. I don't have more so the metallic taste. I have more so the, like, there's no really indicator of, like, I can taste really sweet things, I can taste really salty things. That's really it. It's like the top of my tongue is like, it's just like, it's weird. It's like a muted flavor. I woke up the other morning and really wanted Chick-fil-A breakfast. I haven't had Chick-fil-A, I haven't had Chick-fil-A breakfast, I haven't had anything other than milkshakes. But so I woke up and I was like, you know, I really, really want Chick-fil-A. So the closest Chick-fil-A to my dad's house is not close. I have to get on the highway, drive across the bridge, get there, bring it back. So I was like, all right, we're gonna do this. So I went, and something told me, oh my god, I forgot. So I've also been experiencing heartburn. That's something that is kind of ironic to me, because I went in originally for stomach issues, or not stomach issues, swallowing issues, to an ENT because of acid reflux. And now I'm actually having acid reflux because of the steroid. So so now I'm taking an over-the-counter heartburn medicine, which has been really helpful. But so I got heartburn after my first meal, actually my first ever solid meal. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this burning sensation? So that happened, got Tums, went away. So I got the heartburn medicine at Walgreens right near the Chick-fil-A. Took that before, went to Chick-fil-A, ordered my chicken biscuit and a Powerade and a coffee, and drove off. So while I'm driving, I'm drinking my drink, and then I take a bite of the biscuit, and I'm just like, you know what, I can't taste this. And it's kind of like sad in the fact that, like, I literally woke up craving this and now I can't even taste it. So doctoring things up with sauces has been my new best friend. The hash browns were probably my favorite part of the whole thing, because they were like crispy and I could taste them kind of. And the Powerade and the coffee, obviously I could taste because it's like sweet. And then that's pretty much it. The biscuit was like, I was like turned off by it, because I was like, this tastes like nothing. So I was kind of upset about that, but whatever, first world problems. So other than that, I've just been trying to stick with cravings that I'm having. So if I'm craving a certain type of meal or a certain type of something, I just kind of stick with it. I've been craving a lot of like actually like greens, like leafy greens, so having a lot of salads and things like that, just because I didn't have them for the longest time. My body did not see a vegetable for 3 months, so I'm very happy with the fact that I don't have A, diabetes, or B, anything else that's crazy, because I don't even know how my blood work is normal, so I don't know how, being the fact that I was so not nutrient dense there for a while. But yeah, that's pretty much everything in terms of like where I'm at 1 week later. Nothing else crazy has happened. We have a big call number in case I did have like any crazy side effects or anything like that, but knock on wood, she's been really lucky. And yeah, I think everyone I talked to was kind of impressed with the fact that I've been able to bounce back, but I don't know, I think it's all too kind of a mental thing. I think with the fact that I want to be able to get up and do things. I want to be able to move my body. I want to be able to like work out. I want to be able to go on walks and runs and things like that. And just kind of getting out all of the toxins that were just pumped through my body, I think is important. With lymphoma, or with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, with it being a blood cancer, I feel like the best thing for me is just circulation of that. So I've been trying to just to stick with that if I'm walking my driveway or whatever it is. I think that's just, either way, like little steps are really good. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. I've been just working remotely. That's been super nice, and I'm very grateful. And just upping my loungewear game. I've been trying to get some good outfits to wear, just comfy things to lounge around the house, because I feel like all I was wearing was sweatpants and my t-shirts for a while. And you know, fall's coming, Nordstrom sales kicking up, so I've been kind of going on that. But yeah, overall I'm just very grateful to have one under my belt, and 5 more to go. And it seems very short and to the point, but I know it's going to be kind of more coming. Kind of nervous about the port surgery because this is surgery, and obviously my last one went so fabulous. Yeah, I'm, at the end of the day, I'm just very grateful. I'm very blessed. I'm very lucky that I have the means to be able to be treated. I have people, really good people around me to help me support, and just overall, like, good outlook on life. I think mentality is a good one, faith is another one, and so stay tuned for the next one when we buzzer off and I no longer look like Tater from Yellowstone. And if you don't know who she is, Google it, and that's pretty much what I've been comparing myself to for the past week of having my hair cut short. So I will see you guys later.